What makes sense to me about NXT moving to CW over USA is probably dollar cents. Dollar cents of where maybe it's 15 million to be on USA Network. They're gonna get, but they'll get 30 million on CW. More followers, more money, more stuff. So yes, and that's I mean, things move, brands change. So yeah, that's probably good in WWE, money wise. You got more money. So if NXT has more money, what can NXT do? More house shows, expand, right? So that's going to give them an opportunity to run more shows, maybe coincide with the pay-per-views. Where like when they first started, they were doing more house shows and stuff like that, like out of Florida. Like so, this will give them chances to, if you get $15 more million in towards your budget, say you had 15 there, and it goes to 30 million. Now that extra 15, that's a lot of money to like pick and choose some more shows to fly people in and. Or feed off their other brands like the Smack, Raw or something or whatever. When there's a pay per view in town, they could go do a little venue on a Friday night, and then there's a pay per view on Saturday night, right? So I think that's good for NXT, WWE in a sense. I think that's good for them. The NWA deal, I don't know much about it. Like I get the vibe that Billy Corgan's thing was based a lot on the reality show. For his wedding, getting married. I mean, I don't know. I might be talking out of place or out of turn because I don't know. I didn't read up on any of this or study any of this or talk to any of them personally about any of this. So it might be based on that. The controversial thing, I mean, I've heard, it's hard not to hear about it.
Yeah,
Snorting cocaine in the locker room or acting like you're snorting cocaine in the locker room. I don't think it's a good thing. But that doesn't mean it was a bad thing in a sense because if it's entertainment and you look at it as like a TV show, that's probably how Billy Corgan looked at it. As like, hey, SVU has rape, murder, and this, but it's okay. It's a TV show, so it's probably how they were looking at it, like wrestling. But wrestling has always portrayed itself to be real in a sense. So with that brand and that image coming, that people are going to look at it like, no, like, wrestlers are judged different. So if they see a wrestler snorting cocaine on a show, it's looked at different than seeing Zac Efron snorting cocaine in Neighbors or something. One of those movies, or whatever, one of those silly movies where he runs around with just a lot of oil on and no shirt, like something like. So we're held at a different standard for whatever reason in the entertainment world. So is it fair? No. But at the same time, we spent all these years trying to perceive wrestling as real, like to the point where in Florida Championship Wrestling, Eddie Graham would encourage his champion, yeah, sure, go get in a bar fight if you're a heel, this and this and that, but you better win. If you don't win that bar fight, they're going to pull that title off you because they're trying to portray everything as real, as real as it possibly can. So then now, as things turn over and everything, a lot of people are still look at it in that viewing sense. So if they see a guy snorting cocaine in the locker room, they're like, what is this for kids? Kids are watching, but it's just an edgier show, and maybe that's how Billy Corgan looked at it. Does it hurt them? I mean, if you read the media, they say it's in flux. It has, maybe. I don't think it's hurt the reality part of it. Did WWE hurt them by going there? I don't know. I don't know if they cock blocked them or tried to. I think if WWE wanted to, they could. Like, maybe. A lot of power, a lot of money, a lot of viewers. Weighed out to where NWA would be if you got the scales of justice out here, You got WWE's numbers are heavy scaled, and this one's floating, so. But you need content. The world needs so much content. So I'm not one to ask about it. I'm not educated on stuff. I don't work as a producer. I'm not in that world. I don't know their conversations. I don't know the actual things. I'm not there for CWA to go. CW going, oh, you can't do that. I'm sure that they probably took notice to it and said, what the fuck? But is it wrong? Oh, who am I to say it's wrong? Because, like I said, you could watch Miami Vice or whatever's on things. Unless I don't know what the CW programming is. I don't know what their shows are. Maybe they don't have shows edgy like with that kind of stuff. I don't know either. See, I don't know their logistics or their target markets.
Right.
Either what they're looking, right? You're not going to see that on NXT. I can tell you that. I mean, you'll see some more current stuff and topics and storylines like bad TV, like almost like your Housewives or something. But my personal feelings about like snorting cocaine or something, I believe intent of doing something is a lot stronger than actually showing you do something. So if you leave a mystery to it and you're like, oh, were they going to do that? Is that what they were going to do? you're going to get more mileage out of that, and you're not going to break as many eggs. You know, it's a lot safer route. My imagination, I don't know how your imagination is, but my imagination is way more crazier than reality. Like, I can create things in my head way more interesting and warped than this than you can actually show me. So intent is better. So
type of person.
That's just me personally. I wouldn't have done it. I'm sure it has affected how some people are looking at it, corporate-wise, and probably a lot of the average wrestling fans too. But it's his product, and if that's the route he wants to go, maybe he's trying to say, hey, if we're entertainment, we're entertainment. Although I never looked at NWA's entertainment, I thought they were traditional wrestling. So there's a lot of weird things in there, but I'm not a rock star, and I'm not as talented as Billy Corgan. That dude he's a rock star. Like, that is Smashing Pumpkins. That dude was the voice of the 90s. Like, his music changed people's lives, you know. He sings like the song Best Day of Your Life was about committing suicide. So he's always, the one song, like the ice cream truck, he's going to kill himself, right? That's the best day of his life. What is it? How's it go? I can't hit it. But what I'm saying is he's always been edgy. It's there. He was the voice of the 90s. He's got a pulse on things we don't have. Mixing wrestling with that pulse, I don't know. Mixing music with it, yeah, he's a mastermind and talented, but how people take it, are they ready for it? I don't know, you know. So I know I'm all over the place with all that, but I just can't really give you an honest thing. I can just tell you how I feel, and how I would I would approach it, but I'm more conservative in a sense. Like I said, the intent, my imagination is way better than me actually seeing something happen. So, you know, I'll go a different route, break less eggs, and still get the same result. But you push the envelope, you either push the envelope or you don't, you know. So he's the kind of guy, he's creative, he's got a genius mind, you know, he's a genius, you know, and with music and everything else. And so who knows? Maybe he's on to something bigger than we know. But the WWE affected, I have no idea. I'm not in those meetings. Is there room for two people on the network? I'm sure. If WWE wanted to block something, I'm sure they could. But maybe they're holding back because that's what they're getting accused of with MLW. Because there's a lawsuit with MLW accusing WWE of poaching talent, cock blocking them from being having a main show on a thing, pulling their stroke. So maybe they can't. So maybe if there is a time that you have to can share a network, this is to be the time, because maybe they don't want to do that with all eyes on them with that other lawsuit, because it's a big battle between MLW and WWE about all that. So, and stuff like blocking people from shows. So does it hurt them? No. I mean, the reality show, no. I think it's totally different. I think it's not NXT, it's not wrestling. It's going to be a lot about him getting married and him running a company, maybe, you know, or something, and trying to pull this together and do angles like this without getting heat, you know, like where you can snort cocaine in a locker room with Sinister Minister, you know, who they're just doing what that dude does. That's what that's probably what was going on. I don't know, but he's a great guy. But I've been in his hotel rooms a few times and left with my life. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm praying for that guy. I think he's like in the Satanic Church and everything. He's like, yeah, he's a heavy, intense individual. Great guy though. I mean, nicest as he can be, you know. But just not sure where I stand in the same area as he's standing. You know, like if when God comes to call, I don't think I want to be standing next to him when God's coming to call. You know, I'm gonna. When the man upstairs comes to get me, I'm gonna be across the water somewhere from him and be like, he's over there, like hellfire, brimstone, locust over there, like come here, take me that way. But yeah, so that's some crazy stuff. So we'll see where it all shakes down and plays out. But it'll be interesting. Yeah, definitely an interesting time. I'm definitely. Yeah, it's got my curiosity, and I want to see where it goes, you know.
Guess we'll see what happens.
So, I mean, and see, everything that starts like next October, so yeah. So
it's still got time.
That's for WWE and NXT. But definitely a good move for NXT, I think. I think it frees up money and frees them up to be able to go on the road more. If that's what they do. I don't know what they're doing with it. They can do whatever they want with their money. They can just invest in it. They got great production. They got everything they need. So I would imagine if my hypothesis, my best educated guess, I could think it would just free up more money for them to do more house shows, like on the road out of Florida. Like that's what I would think, but I'm not again in that office or in those social circles to know that kind of thing. So
yeah,
but that's what would make sense to me. If I was a business guy, that's how I'd be looking at it. All right, we're freeing that up to be able to do more shows out on the road.
Yeah,
right.
very fair.
Yeah. All right.